Theater is an incredibly important part of my life. Stage crew in particular has given me an outlet to channel my creativity, and I plan on studying technical theater in college. The scene shop is sensory overload. Quotes covering the walls, weird signs hung in odd places, and old crew photos at every corner. But where did the pictures come from? How old are these quotes? Was stage crew always like this? I decided to interview our technical director and find some answers.
Hello, my name is Christopher Schultens. I am the technical director here at Oak Park River Forest High School. I've been doing theater since, I want to say, my sophomore year of high school. And I graduated in 2007, so I'm going to leave you to do the math, because I don't want to. Straight out of high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I went up to Triton just to continue my education, try and get some gen eds out of the way. From there, I got to know the technical director, and then he got me an internship at Lifeline Theater. And then I heard about Columbia here in Chicago, so I went there, got my degree in scenic design, and I came here to work at Oak Park as like an overhire type guy. And there was a couple of transitions, and I became the technical director here.
When did you first join crew? Was it at the high school or did you do it at Triton?
I first joined crew through my friend because he dragged me along. It was my sophomore year, and since then I've been here, and then I came back.
How large was your stage crew around that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I want to say there was about 30 to 36.
What would you say is your favorite part of stage crew?
In terms of technical, I'm a little biased towards scenic design because I really like working with my hands, and then both on design I get to make little models and I can use my hands there, and then when teaching students I can really get hands-on because we do a lot of carpentry work, so it's a lot of showing some basic carpentry skills.
Obviously crew's gone through probably a bit of more changes since 2007, so what would you say is the major change in crew since you have graduated?
Major change. I remember we used to, it's not really that major, but before call, because there was always a 10-15 minutes before call, we used to play Foursquare, and then we had a volleyball just somewhere in the shop.
What was the best show that you worked on while you were here?
Ooh, the best show. Again, a little biased. One of my favorite shows that I've done was 6 Characters in Search of an Author, and that was the beginning of my senior year, and that's because I was a master for it. And then kind of my favorite show, I think, was Ragtime, because that was a real interesting experience. We got Reed from Reed Rigging to come in, and he lent us a bunch of truss, so we had a bridge that raised and lowered, and it was all motorized, and then we also had truss in our front of stage, so we got to hang lighting fixtures from that, and that was really cool.
How has the production quality, I guess, changed since you've been here?
When I was here, we still had the radial arm saw, and the drill press is still here. but we don't use those anymore. I mean, it's not really much has changed. We are trying to update our stuff, so I grew up on the ETC Express, so the lighting board is at least different. We now have an ion lighting board. In terms of lighting, it's getting better, but carpentry / scenery, it's kind of always really been here. And
could you explain what writing your quote on the wall, like how significant that is to crew members?
So for crew, it's you put in your time, and throughout the years, you kind of grow up over time, and you're all of a part of a family. So as a senior, as kind of a parting to remember you, or if there's something that you're just really well known for, you left a quote, and you could put it in the theater space. Some people put it just in the main shop, some people like to hide it, like me.
Where is your quote hidden?
That is a great question. So I have not told anyone on crew where my quote is. It's kind of an ongoing, you have to find it, and then once you find it, I can confirm if it's there or not. So that is my...
The point of this question was so that you get to answer the question.
Nice try, Clay.
Do you know how long that tradition has been a thing?
As a tradition, I want to say like 10 years where seniors actually started putting up quotes, but we have quotes in random places or just names, so it could have been even later than that, but not necessarily a quote. Maybe it's just like your name and year.
What's the oldest one that you've found?
I know there's some old ones in the attic that are like 1990 something.
Are there any crew traditions during your time that have really like either died out or like they're still staying strong?
Like I said, we used to play Foursquare a lot. We also used to play Ultimate Frisbee. At least my time during here, so those haven't really picked up. But there's still like the crew picnic that's still going strong. At the end of the year, all crew members get together, and it's a great opportunity for like yearbook signings, another goodbye to seniors. Dedicating shows, we always dedicate our shows to whatever the crew decides. Sometimes it's silly, sometimes it's some real life event that happened. And the gaff ball is still around. I cannot believe it's this big ball of gaff tape that we use. We use a lot of gaff tape during our orchestra show, so we made a ball, and it just kind of rolls and gets bigger and bigger, and that is still around for reasons I don't know. As an adult, it's ridiculous that it's still around. But as a student, I'd be proud.
The school view crew as a part of the school when you were a student here, and how has that changed up until now?
When I went here, stage crew had a reputation very similar to being like B&G, so it was just like student run, same as it is now. We always wore black. We were like a subculture. We knew the video game club, sci-fi anime club, and like band kids really well, so I remember a moment when, it was like my junior year, when we really thought about how to overthrow the political system of the school. If we got everyone on stage crew, everyone on band / marching band, and everyone on sci-fi anime to all like vote for one person, we can get someone as student president, just on the sheer numbers.
And how did that work?
We planned it, but it didn't happen, because we weren't going to see anything happen until it was like freshman year of college, so in like 2 years.
So it didn't matter at that point, really?
Yeah, it didn't really matter for us, but it would have been like a ha-ha! Yeah, we were always here, always working. I think a little bit more, I mean, at the time, emo was like a trend, but alternative and punky, I guess.
The relationships that you formed when you were here at the high school as a student, have they still been strong? Do you still keep in touch with people that you used to work with? Things like that?
Definitely. I still know people all around. Got a couple of people that I know that are touring. I just called one the other day, and I was like, oh, hey! I didn't even know you were working up there. And she was like, yeah, congrats on the job. I was like, thanks. But yeah, they're still all over the place, and I still talk to them every once in a while. If they come into town, I'm like, hey, let's do something. I mean, everyone on crew, kind of touching back on traditions, is you really become a family, whether you like it or not. As life just goes on, people spread out and still keep in contact and say, hey, what's going on every once in a while.
What is your favorite memory when you were in crew?
Oh, there's a couple. There's so many. So there was this one part in Ragtime where one of the main characters gets shot, and I was the technician to shoot the blank gun just to make the noise, and we wanted it on stage so it like originated from that point. And the master rigger was sick during the show, so he left his assistant in charge, and it was during the run of a show, and then the main flew in, and then the main needed to fly out, but the master rigger was in the bathroom because he was sick, and no one was hearing the call, so everyone who was like on radio kind of like converged towards the rail to try and fly out the main. And my technical director was midway crossing the stage as the main starts flying out, so he like slide tackles right next to me. And I was like, how's it going? So that one was pretty fun.
In your eyes, and from what you've seen in terms of the evolution of crew, what do you see like the future of crew as?
I don't know if it's now because I'm on the teacher side as opposed to the student side, but in terms of what I am trying to teach my students and what my coworker, Ms. Sadowski, also is teaching, I think just the amount of knowledge that we're offering and the tools that we're having students play with has been like really offering the world to them, because I don't remember learning anything about drafting, I mean, we did have a couple of movers, but that was like once, maybe a year, and not like, you have one for orchesis, you have one for musical. I think just the amount of opportunities have been vastly increasing.
That is it. Thank you so much for letting me do this. Would you like to show the length of your hair?
My hair is pretty long.
There you go. All right. Thank you.